Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's good to see everybody here. And we like to get started on Shabbat with announcements. So it is my pleasure to invite up our board member, Ron Van, to give us some announcements this evening. You know how this goes. Just make sure it's at the right height for you, okay?
Only needs a telephone. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. A little more exuberance. One more time. Shabbat Shalom. All right, now we're cooking. My name is Ron Van, and on behalf of the Bethel Board of Trustees, I'd like to welcome you to our Shabbat service. If you're new or visiting, please introduce yourself to me or Rabbi Dine after the service for a warm welcome. We're delighted to celebrate with you. You're all invited to our annual open house on Sunday, by the way. August 2nd. Starts at 10:30 and we'll wrap it up at 12:30. This is fun. It's a family-friendly event open to all of our members, friends, and family. And we encourage you to invite anyone who's thinking about joining. It's a wonderful time to gather and to get to know our congregation. I'd like you to check your pamphlets and the Tuesday e-bulletin, actually, for more Bethel and community-wide events that will be coming up next month. Would you take a moment really to silence your cell phones? And we are thrilled to have you join us, by the way. Even though they put it in here, we are thrilled to have you. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
So, thank you, Ron, for the announcements. And let us turn in our books to open with a song on page 129, 129, with Dodi Lee. Dodi Li Vani Lo Haroeh Bashoshanim Dodi Li Mizotola Min Hamidbar Mizotola Min Hamidbar Dodi Li Vani Lo Haroeh Bashoshanim Dodi Li. And so now we turn in our books to page 120, 120. And for those that aren't familiar, this is the book that we're in with the sort of little flame decal there on the front. So page 120, 120. I'd like to invite up the Barskis to help us with the candles and the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat. Now we turn to page 123, 123 for the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, b'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodecha, Be'ava uratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim. And so now we turn in our books. Thank you, by the way, for lighting and blessing. We turn in our books to Lechadodi, page 138, 138. And we'll do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on verse 9, I'll invite everyone to rise in body or spirit and to turn and face the doors to welcome the Shabbat Queen to join us. Page 138. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hamiyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki hi makor habaracha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, Sof maseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5. Hitoreri, Ki va'orech kumi ori, Uri shir daberi, Kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, Toch emunei am segula, Boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. I invite you to remain standing in body or spirit and turn to page 146, 146, for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. You may be seated. We turn to page 149, 149. Please join with me at the top of the page. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide and time of light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. And now let us look to page 151, 151 at the bottom. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us, and the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this, the holiest of your works, in the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And now I invite you to turn to page 152 to 153 and to rise in body or spirit for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. Page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta ba'am B'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai Vitem kedushim lelohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. And now, let us turn to page 157, 157, and join together at the top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Let us turn to page 158, 158, for Michamocha, our people's song of redemption. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nedar ba'kodesh, Nora tehilot osefele, Nora tehilot osefele. Malechutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Ze'eli anu ve'amru. Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo meyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We turn to page 160, 160, for the Hashkivenu. Please join with me in the English. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem, and over all the world. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, over all those who dwell on earth. Let us turn to page 162, 162, for V'shamru. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledorotam berit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledorotam berit olam. We turn to page 164, 164, and I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the tefillah portion of our service. We're going to be on the even-numbered pages from 164 to 170. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, u'Mevi Geula Livnei V'nehem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishene afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umito melach, melech memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lahachayot hakol, baruch ata Adonai, mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah, baruch ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You may be seated. Let us turn to page 174, 174. At the top of the page, find favor, Adonai, our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayer in love. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants, pour out your prayer upon us. And now the Hebrew on page 175 in the middle. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadecha b'yirah na'avod. And now we turn to page 176, 176. Please join with me in the English at the middle of the page. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for the miracles which we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our trust in you. And in the Hebrew on the next page, Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha locha na'eh lehodot. And now, even with those things that we are grateful for, even with those things that God does for us all the time, I want to open it up for individual things that we're happy about, blessings in our lives, simchas that we're celebrating. And just raise your hand. I'll bring the mic over to you. Say who you are, and please share with us whatever you'd like to that's going on with you. Yeah.
I'm Jody. I just rescued my second little kitty, and she's getting along really well with my first kitty that I rescued. So we're a happy little family, Noah, Nessa, and Jody.
Thank you. Anyone else feeling brave? It's a nice crowd, I swear. We're not going to give you a hard time. Any good thing you want to share? Yeah.
Remarkably and amazingly, my parents are going to have their 55th anniversary, and my wife and I were thinking we're not even sure we could get there, so that's pretty amazing to us. And our daughter, as a freshman this year, just found out that she made her second varsity sport in the high school, which is pretty exciting for her as a freshman, so that's that.
Thank you very much. Good stuff. Anyone else? All right. Bring your good things down. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Hello, I'm Carol's husband, and we just found out as we were pulling into the parking lot, or I just found out that my brother, who lives in LA, received the all clear from an oncologist today, and he's cancer-free.
Thank you all. Thank you to all who shared. It's good to be able to share these good things in our lives. And even with all of these blessings, even with all these wonderful things for which we are grateful, we know that we are still praying for peace. And so we turn to page 180, 180. Nope, 178 for Shalom Rav, 178. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol et u'b'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai hamvarech et amo Yisrael v'shalom. Our thoughts turn to those who are in need of healing, whether it is healing of mind or of body or of spirit. The congregation is thinking for healing of Carol Solomon, June Van, Rabbi Michael Matchison, Sherry Chait, Larry Michaelov, Fran Marcus, Paige Hedrick, Rob Moreland, Arthur Aglico, Ken Friedman, Don DeMelia, Randy Pakula, Ronald Lieberman, Stuart Rosenthal, David Adler, Melvin Cohen, Marianne Brown, Elise Rubin, Margaret Larson, Marvin Weisblatt, Bonnie Yales Gibson, Joanne Lifshitz, Myra Barsky, Kimberly Aslan, Jennifer Levine, Maytal Eber, Alan Kaufman, Mimi Kaufman, Zipporah Bat Keila Rivka, all American soldiers injured in war, all Israeli soldiers injured in war, and all civilians injured in any war. If there's anyone that has a name that you would like to share with the community of someone for whom you are praying for healing, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. We hold all their names together for healing. I invite you to turn to page 371, and to rise in body or spirit for the Mishaberach. Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor HaBaracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBaracha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema. the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. May those who will not be healed on this earth be blessed with nights free from suffering and days filled with peace. May God grant strength and comfort to those who care for the sick. May God help us to find hope and courage as we face fear and loss. May all who are ill be surrounded by the love of friends, loving companions, family, and community. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated. Let us now take a few moments for silent meditation, the prayers of your heart. And when we come out of that together, we'll be on page 180, 180, near the bottom. Yihiyu leratzon imre fi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri Vegoali, Vegoali. Well, Shabbat Shalom again, everyone. We are told a lot of lessons in this world. A lot of things we are told that we need to survive. We are told that we need to develop a thick skin. And sometimes it's true. Sometimes having calluses on our feet, on our elbows, that can be helpful. Great for heels. But when your heart develops a thickness around it, we have a problem. If the Torah were written today, perhaps this week's Torah portion, Akev, would say something like, moisturize your heart daily. Avoid emotional chapping. But that's not what it says. Moses gives us something considerably more dramatic. The Torah says, you shall circumcise the foreskin of your hearts and stiffen your necks no more. Not exactly the stuff of Hallmark cards. But it's an extraordinary image and metaphor. Calluses do not appear all at once. Something rubs again and again, and eventually skin gets tougher. Our hearts, the same thing can happen to our hearts. Disappointment, grief, betrayal, loss. Sometimes we can simply look at all the suffering in the world and think, I just can't take in one more thing. So the heart learns to protect itself, and sometimes it has to. The Torah isn't criticizing us for having scars, but it warns us, don't let these scars become walls. Because eventually, protecting one's heart like that, yes, it can keep out pain, but it can also keep out compassion, joy, and love. There's a story of a man who lost his spouse of many years. And in the aftermath of that loss, he found that there was one aisle he couldn't go down in the grocery store. And so he avoided it every time he went shopping. It was the cereal aisle, because his wife had a favorite cereal that she would eat every morning. And every morning they would joke because he thought the cereal tasted like cardboard. He wouldn't touch this stuff, but it was her favorite cereal. And so once she passed away, seeing that box became too painful for him. He couldn't go down the aisle. He couldn't even look at it. Grief can hide in little things. A song, a coffee mug, a cereal box. And then one afternoon he went shopping and was about to pass by the aisle, but he saw a woman standing there looking distraught, pausing, staring at the shelves. He almost kept going, but instead he turned towards her and he said, "Can I help you find something?" And she said, "My husband always did the shopping." And she gave a little laugh and then continued, "I don't even know what kind of peanut butter we buy." You see, she had lost her spouse recently, and she was getting used to doing all the things that she needed to do now that she didn't do before. And there they were, two strangers meeting in the grocery store, trying to figure out how to do ordinary things in a world that no longer felt ordinary. He went into the aisle and helped her find the peanut butter. And that was it. He didn't fix her grief, and she didn't fix his. But before he left the aisle, he went a little further down and grabbed his wife's box of cereal. He didn't think it was going to taste any better. He knew it was still going to taste like cardboard. But somehow, helping her face her grief even a little bit had helped it make it easier for him to face his own. In that moment, he noticed, he turned, and he acted. Notice, turn, act. And maybe, though not phrased the same way, that's exactly what Moses is asking us to do in this Torah portion. Circumcise the foreskin of your hearts and stiffen your necks no more. A hardened heart says, "I don't want to feel that." And a stiff neck says, "I don't want to look." So the Torah tells us, soften your heart, turn your head. Because compassion requires both. We have to see another person. We have to know that they're there. And then we have to let that, what they see, what we see in them, we have to make it matter. We have to recognize it and decide that it matters, that they matter. And that's hard sometimes because we're busy. We're carrying our own burdens. We're thinking about the next appointment, the unanswered email, the problems that await us at our next destination. But meanwhile, somebody is standing there in that cereal aisle, literal or metaphorical, and we can almost miss them. We can almost pass by. It's not because we don't care, but because we're human, which is why compassion has to become a practice. So this week, 3 things for us to focus on. Notice, turn, and act. First, to notice. Notice one person we might ordinarily pass by. The person sitting alone. The friend who says, "I'm fine," when we know, just by their tone of voice and the look on their face, that they are anything but fine. A family member that we haven't heard from recently. Don't assume that someone else will notice. We notice. Second, turn. Turn towards someone we might otherwise avoid. Maybe because their pain feels overwhelming. Maybe because the relationship with them is complicated. Maybe because on many things we disagree. But turning towards someone doesn't mean we have to agree with them. It means remembering that there's a human being in front of us who's created B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God, the same as us. And the third thing that I ask us to do is to act. Do one small thing. Make the call. Send the text. Bring the meal. Ask, how are you really doing when someone says they're fine? And then stay long enough to hear the answer. None of this will fix the entire world. But we're not asked to fix the entire world. We are asked to do one small part to make sure that nobody walks through these tough times all alone. And something happens when we do that. Compassion changes the person who is receiving it, yes, but it changes us too. Every time we practice compassion, every time we do an act of compassion, we become a little more compassionate. It's kind of simple math, right? Practice makes perfect. The more compassion we show, the more compassionate we become. Every time we turn towards someone, instead of turning away, we become more capable of turning towards the next person. Every mitzvah leaves a mark. Life, yes, life can give us all calluses. We will be hurt. We will lose people that we love. There will be days when the suffering around us feels like too much. But our scars do not have to become walls. Sometimes there is an aisle, and there's a person waiting there for us to turn. And maybe that's what the Torah is asking us to do, to turn the cart, to notice who is standing there, and to act. So when we feel our heart becoming hard, notice. When we feel our neck becoming stiff, turn. And when we see someone who needs us, act. Better days don't arrive simply because we wait long enough. We bring them closer with every action that we take. These actions help us to heal. They help keep our hearts soft enough to feel. They keep our necks flexible enough to turn. And so when we see someone standing in the aisle alone, let us turn in and act. Shabbat Shalom. Let us turn now in our books to page 678, 678, and to rise in body or spirit for Hatikva, Israel's national anthem. For those who were here last week, you remember the Israeli teenagers who were here, and it was wonderful to have them on the bima, wonderful to be reminded of our partnership with our friends and family over there across the seas. So we stand in body or spirit in solidarity with our people there, and we turn to page 678. Kol od balevav pnima, nefesh Yehudi homia, ulfate mizrach kadima, ayin letzion Sophia, od lo avda tikvatenu, hatikva bat shnot alpayim, liotam chofshi be'artzenu, Eretz Tzion v'Yerushalayim. Liotam chofshi be'artzenu, Eretz Tzion v'Yerushalayim. I invite us to remain standing in body or spirit as we turn to page 586, 586 for the Aleinu will be on 586 in the middle, sorry, at the bottom, and then 588 in the middle, and then oh my gosh, this is misremembering page numbers here and places on the page. 586 bottom, 588 top, 591 in the middle. That's what I'm trying to channel. Okay. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kugagei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kimishbachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד עמק מלכנו אפס זולתו כך כתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad. You may be seated. Our thoughts turn to those whom we have lost. We think of the world around us. We think of the stars in the sky. There are stars up above so far away that we only see their light long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we have loved. Their light keeps shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways that we remember. The congregation is remembering those that we have lost within the last year. Carol Friedman, Martin Horowitz, Grace Belkin, Howard Silvers, Jeanette Greenwald, Lee Schwartz, Ronald Harris Lieberman, Maxine Safer Goldberg, Carol Wallace, Helene Levy Gold, Stephen Blumberg, Estelle Sylvia Beckerman, Sean Curley, Natalie Rosenberg, Doris Trichia Rojas, and Carol Kalnitsky. And we're remembering those that we have lost at this time in years past. Bess Aronoff, Laura Cohen-Ellican, Samuel Frankel, Pearl Ginsberg, Jackie Gould, Julie Greenfield, and Herman Klausner. If there's anyone here that has a name that you would like to share with the community of someone that you have lost that you're thinking of, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. We hold all of their memories together. I invite you to turn to page 598, 598, and to rise in body or spirit for the Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabah, ve'alma divra chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach V'Olam Lomei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei kudashah brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'ama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who makes peace on high bring comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. I invite you to remain standing in body or spirit for a little while longer while we sing our closing song, Oseh Shalom, and then we'll turn to page 603 for the priestly benediction. Oseh Shalom can be found in the last 3 lines in the Hebrew on this page. 598. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ya'aseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Page 603. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha, ve'asem lecha shalom, shalom, shalom. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace. Shabbat shalom, everyone.